Hello, my name is Martin. Welcome back to another video. You are?
James.
James. Right, a bit of an odd one to explain this. So you've seen that the canal, the levels on the canals in Manchester city centre are very low. So we're now here by the Rochdale Canal, as you can see, and we're going to cycle into Manchester and we're going to check out those low water levels. So this video is about the journey as well, because on the way down here I'm going to show you some stuff just to make the journey interesting. Won't be a well, for us it's a good a good hour journey, hour and a half maybe, but I'll show you some stuff along the way. I'll speed it up, then we'll get to town and I'll show you these water levels in the canal. This is where we're from, round here. Well, we're having a brew, by the way. Who's made the sandwiches?
I think it's you this time.
Yeah, I've made the sandwiches. It's a simple filling. Right, so we'll have a brew time. I want to show you that way there. Right, I'm going to show you an old picture, as I always do, throw a bit of history, make it interesting. This round here is in here. This is where I grew up, round here. So down there was a little bridge across the canal with a little branch line to a little siding called Chadderton Coal Concentration Depot. So it took coal off the main line and dumped it at Chadderton, I suppose for distribution around the local area. And in the 80s it was still going, and I remember seeing trains going up and down it. Anyway, I want to dwell on it. That view there, I'm going to show you through a compression lens, through a zoom lens, so it's compressed. I'm going to show you what it was like and what I grew up with. It probably explains why I do what I do. Right, if you want to know me, if you want to step inside one of my early memories, know that picture. Sorry to be so self-indulgent, but that picture sums up everything. That's the canal near where I grew up. The bridge above, that steel sort of girder bridge there, is the branch to Chadderton Coal Concentration Depot. In the background you've got the junction mill, which my first job was in the yard of the junction mill in an additional building. And in the background, dominating, is Chadderton Power Station, which I grew up seeing the three cooling towers of Chadderton Power Station. And the kids running along the canal just add to the nostalgia. That is me in a picture. And I think I even went on a little early school trip where we walked down the canal looking for nature when I was about 4 or 5 years old. It might have been from nursery. And I remember just looking round, and I think the locks were wrecked and there was waterfall going over the locks, and I thought that was a waterfall. That was my first exposure to what I thought was a waterfall. That picture sums me up in a nutshell. Okay, so there's the journey. It's along the Rochdale Canal. You'll see we start up in Chadderton, the Chadderton area. And we follow the Rochdale Canal, which is the red dotted line, into Manchester, into I think we end up in near Ancoats. That journey is about between 6 and 7 miles, so it's going to take us about an hour and a half, because we're stopping along the way. And I'll show you this picture here, and as you can see, I've got a couple of things to show you along the way. It won't take long, and we will get to these low water levels. So, you know, I just hope you enjoy the journey with us. So just back to my picture that I'm obsessed with, because it sums so much up. The kids running under the bridge there, I'm going to date that to pre-85, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Because the junction mill, which is there, got pulled down around about 85. This here is where they were running. This is all that remains of the branch line bridge. And here you go, here's a picture of an 08 going down the branch line with the junction mill in the background, and we're going to revisit junction mill in a minute.
Free food. Try not to get the one with all the webs on.
Dog piss on. Round here, right, this is Foxdenton Lane on the Rochdale Canal. See those units there, James? Yeah. So I used to work over there before the units were there. Getting old now, you know. There used to be a mill there called Junction Mill, and then over the other side of the road is the Swan Mill, and you see the Swan Mill is still there. There's the Swan Mill there. That's Swan Mill. Two massive mills. Junction Mill got pulled down, and I've got a photo to show you of the Junction Mill being pulled down. Right, so you saw that photo, you see the crane? See the crane pulled it down, right? Yeah, yeah. I've got a story about that. I don't know if I should tell it, but it was about 1985. So I worked right next to the junction mill. It was a building that was part of that little complex, but they pulled the main mill down. And when the demolition guys were there, right, pulling the mill down, they used to come, a couple of them used to come in, all right lads, go, get a brew, have a brew, because they didn't have water or power in the mill, obviously, they couldn't come in. I remember it being quite a warm summer, it might have been 84, can't remember when it was. Anyway, it's funny because that crane driver, right, what he was doing was, we were watching him and he was knocking the bottom poles in the mill and dropping all the floors in one go, so they're doing it a proper rush job. They were probably proper like little cowboys and that, I don't know, they wanted to do a proper rush job. It weren't done safely anyway in 1984, 85. Anyway, this guy kept coming in for a brew. Have a brew, lads, have a brew. I don't know if I should say this or not, but like I say, it was a long time ago, it's 40 years ago. That crane driver, the next thing we heard was he'd been arrested because he'd apparently been exposing himself along the canal or in the area to some ladies, and he got arrested. We never saw him again. So there you go, picture of a crane pulling down a mill. I can tell you a story about the crane driver. You're getting old when you can do that, can't you? Anyway, let's crack on. We've not got far at the minute, we've got to go down there, and then the next stop is the Windsbrook. Okay, so we're still here on our journey down the Rochdale Canal, just near the start, and the stories and the laughter has been full flow, hasn't it? You can't tear yourself away. Anyway, I've got something else to show you in this area. It's about Chadderton Power Station, and then we'll crack on and start making some tracks. Right, we've got to stop again. I've got to show you this. There is an overflow for the canal, and the overflow runs down there. Don't often run, but it runs down there, and down in the little valley down here is the Windsbrook. You may remember the Windsbrook. We've done a video on the Windsbrook, right? But a photo was taken here looking that way that I'm going to show you. And again, it involves Chadderton Power Station that I've already mentioned. So I'm going to transition now from this view that you're seeing now to this old photo. Take a look at this. There you go, same view. Incredible, isn't it? And you can see how Chadderton Power Station dominated the area. I grew up with this power station. You can see our overflow there, and I've credited the person who I think may have took the picture. And these pictures here, obviously Britain from above, you can see how it dominated the area, and there's a view here and then another view from along the canal. Chadderton Power Station everywhere, and it's gone forever now, gone without a trace. But I never realised that the power station that I grew up with was a later version, because here is a picture of the original Chadderton Power Station, which was called Chadderton A, and it was called Slacks Valley. So I'm learning things all the time here. I'm thinking, hang on, I never knew it was called this. So this is Slacks Valley Power Station. The original station, it was built between 1925 and 1927, and it operated sometime until the late 1950s, and in the mid-70s it was demolished. So I could have seen that if I'd have been aware. Later we had Chadderton B Power Station, which is the one I've been showing you. This was the much larger successor, and it opened on the 8th of July 1955. And this is the one I grew up with, and it was decommissioned in November 1982. And of course, if we look at our canal map here, we can see this stretch was built in 1794, and we've got Slacks Valley Embankment. So I never knew this area was called Slacks Valley, so news to me, I've learned something now. And ultimately, and unfortunately, Chadderton Power Station B was demolished in April 1986. So that's when the cooling towers were blown up, in April 1986. Now I was around, I was still living not far away from here, and I never went down on the day. I think it was 8 o'clock in the morning they decided they were going to blast the cooling towers, and I missed all this. But so I'm a bit gutted really. But I won't go on about Chadderton Power Station anymore. It's just that it was here where we are now, and I grew up with it, and Roy did as well actually. And there was nothing left by the time they finished with it, and there's only a bit of a substation left now where it once stood. R.I.P. Chadderton Power Station. Right, so we better crack on along this journey. I've got to get you into Manchester, haven't I? Right, so here we are on our journey. That's where we are now, and just near to Failsworth. I'm going to show you this because it featured in a recent video. Take a look at this. Recognise where we are?
Failsworth?
Yeah, no, you're right. Moston Failsworth border. And you may recognise this little canal overflow here behind us. There you go. Or you may not, when we did the source of the Moston Brook. I'm going to show you inside there now. It's not many YouTube channels can do that, can they? On the right, they can show you canal overflow with it's about, you know, 6 inches high, and say I've been inside there. So here's a clip inside there. Okay, so this is what's on the other side of that overflow. It overflows into a little brook called the Whole Bottom Brook. This is us going up the overflow. It's now a concrete pipe. That's Roy going up there, and I was not far behind him. Can't say it was something I really wanted to do, but it was interesting. It was a bit painful on the old knees, and then when you get to the top of this pipe, here we are, the other side of that overflow, and you can see it's a kind of a chamber where the water flows down, and you can see our little grill there that we've just been stood on the other side of. So there you go, that's what it looks like.
Try and get the GoPro straight.
Shit, you know. When we get to town,
yeah,
it's a drink, innit? We're having a drink.
Yeah, pint or nice coffee.
No, we'll have a drink. But on the way here, we need to think about stopping for a brew, don't we?
Oh yeah. And something to eat.
I think I know a place just further down here.
Okay. So, this is Wrigley Head Bridge. It's actually a packhorse bridge and it is very old.
So there you go, Wrigley Head Bridge. Quite an unassuming bridge, but it is very, very old. And I think the left-hand side's original there, the parapet, and the right-hand side's had to have been rebuilt. But it's been here a long time, this thing, I'm telling you. Well, it's as old as the canal, innit, as you can well guess. But I love these old stone features here. Wonder if this used to be like a gate post or something, because there's a slot in this side of it. What was that all about? But just thought I'd point this out because it is one of the original bridges over the canal. So there you go, Wrigley Head Bridge. You can tell it's old, can't you? You can tell it's old because all that stonework, that's probably as old as the canal, that, you know, 200-year-old. How old the canal's now? 200-odd-year-old. Near Failsworth, and already the canal is now looking lower in it.
Yeah.
Water levels are getting lower, and it's literally just after that lock there. Low water levels now here at Failsworth. We're near to the rare survivor Ivy Mill, a cotton mill. So you can tell there's a boat stranded there, right on the edge. This is like a marina at Failsworth. Totally drained, mud here. This is mud, just a bit in the centre. That boat's stranded. And so it begins there.
I know.
Look at that. Just a bit of a flow, and it's all going down towards Manchester, the flow there. And just a bit of a pool there at the lock gates. This is lock, what's this? 68? Sort of Failsworth Newton Heath border now.
What is it? Why?
So I think there's multiple things. I think it's drought. So we've not had any rain, proper rain, since March in this country. It's been quite a nice summer, quite hot, not much rain. Hollingworth Lake is the feeder for Rochdale Canal. That's really, really low, so it's probably not feeding it. And as boats have gone through, probably at the early part of summer, vast quantities of water have gone down towards Castlefield, and it's not been replaced. And I think there was rumour that someone was deliberately opening the locks up and stuff and letting water through. So it's just water that's just moved down in chunks. I think, I'm not an expert, so partially drought, partially a little bit of someone probably messing about. But you'd imagine in a couple of weeks this will be, well, it might take a while to fill, wouldn't it? But you imagine about September, October, everything should be back to normal, because it will start raining then. Anyway, we still need this brew. We're just trying to find a decent place for a brew. We'll crack on.
Yeah.
Now we're baffled now because we've just got further down the canal to a place called Newton Heath, Lock 69, and we've got water again, so it's very inconsistent, this. Right, Newton Heath, lock 69. Don't know if you remember this. Remember we did a video called Where Are Lock Gates Made? Well, we came here, filmed 69 all empty, and the workmen here, Canal and River Trust here, and then it led us to Birmingham to go look where the lock gates were made. So lock 69 is looking full again now. This is the thing, it's really in sections. This, you'll go past a really like low section and suddenly there's water in again. James has got a fact for you.
So this is Canada geese facts. So in the comments below, what are baby Canada geese called? And also, when baby Canada geese are born, they can immediately swim.
That's amazing, James.
So in the comments below, write down.
That's amazing, because I'm going to have to now go up and look at what baby Canada geese are called.
Yeah.
Goals. Yeah, I'll go and look it up. So the last time we were here, which is probably about October, November 2024, lock 69 here at Newton Heath looked very different. Here's a flashback. They were replacing the lock gates, so we managed to get down here with the Canal and River Trust and take a look at the work that was going on. And it's full today, but it was a different story just last year. You can see all the work that were going on. And the lock gates that are there now are obviously the new ones that were replaced last year. So there you go. If you want to watch that video, I'll stick a link in, I'll pin a link in the first comment if you want to watch that one. We ended up going to Birmingham to see the Lockgate workshop. Anyway, let's crack on. Lock 74. I think we're heading in towards Miles Platting now. This big field behind me here, I don't know if you can see it, it's a big field behind me. That used to be a big works called Platt, massive employer in Manchester. Yeah, so it's just a big empty field behind me, but it used to be Platt's, piece of Manchester's industrial history, legendary manufacturers. That building unfortunately has been pulled down now, alas. But you can see here as well, Lowry decided to do a little homage towards it as well. This is called Going to Work. Also, at some point here, I can't remember where, near Briscoe Lane, Shooters Brook goes underneath the Rochdale Canal. Because Shooters Brook starts up in Newton Heath, where we've just come from, and then it runs down Oldham Road, then goes under the Rochdale Canal, but I really don't know where. But yeah, Platt's was here, famous Lowry painting was done here, and then just down here we've got Victoria Mill. I think that's where we're having a brew in it.
Oh yeah.
Right, so Miles Platting now, not far outside town. Manchester, when I say town I mean Manchester city centre. So Miles Platting, we're coming up to Victoria Mill, which you may recognise. So if you remember Victoria Mill, lovely chimney on it, which I'll show you, and it's got like the stair towers encapsulated within the chimney, and the chimney's absorbed in the building. Quite a unique thing, although there are other mills like this, but it was absolutely wonderful. There you go, there's the front of the mill, and this is a video we did in 2019. That little viewing area there underneath the chimney was wonderful, and you can tell it's old footage because you've got the gasometer, or the gas holder if you want, whatever you want to call it, Bradford Road gasometer in the background there. I really like doing that because I'd seen the mill so many times. It was so great to get inside finally. As we got down here, you'll see there's like a split in the buildings, and I got my drone. I was in that sort of, for want of a better word, that gap between the two buildings. There's a big old crane up there. See the big crane up there where the chimney is? I droned all that, and there was a right vortex in there. Vortex between the two buildings, and the drone was pretty new, and I nearly lost it and smashed it into the crane. We're getting here towards Lock 81, and you'll see it's a bit of a marina. See how it goes wider? So I've got something to tell you. You remember our film, our favourite film, A Taste of Honey, that has got all the old Manchester shots in? Well, let's get to the actual lock gate here and I'll tell you.
Oh, not there.
So take a look at that shot. Wide marina, in the distance, Victoria Mill there, Victoria Mill. So I've got an old photo to show you. There was a scene from A Taste of Honey shot here. I'm not sure. Is it the point where she said she can feel the baby kicking? I'm not sure. But they're here, they're on like a bit of a raft messing about, and there's all kids watching them and everything. And it's, when was Taste of Honey filmed? I think 59 was it filmed, something like 1959. Victoria Mill's in the background and the canal's all derelict. Is it something I said? The canal's all derelict and there's kids here and everything, but the only constant is Victoria Mill. And here there's terrace streets and everything here. So I just thought I'd tell you that. It was shot here, Lock 81. So you want a brew here?
Yeah.
And it's not far down there, you'd be drinking lager.
Well, I can have a hot and cold drink, it's okay.
Right, brew time.
Brew time. Nice and low. Lower. You're letting all the heat escape. Full fat milk as well.
I think I've made the sandwiches, by the way. It's a simple classic.
Right, hopefully they're nice. No fancy sauce on this one this time, is there?
It's sauce based, but I've not made it. I'm afraid I bought it ready made. Right, so the sandwiches are here. Right, so it's seedy bread, and we've got on it, what's that? Coronation chicken, and I've thrown a slice of cheese on one of them just for good measure. So there you go. Very good.
Very nice.
What do you think?
It's nice.
Oh, here we go. It's
What?
nice, but no, no buts at the minute.
I'm not too sure about sultanas.
That's coronation chicken.
No. Just my preference.
You look disgusting while you're eating. Don't frighten everyone. You're frightening everyone. Right. Scores.
Okay. Well, are you going first?
I like coronation chicken, and the fact that you know it comes ready made is wonderful. So I'm going to give it as a filler. It's basically chicken in mayonnaise in it with
Like curry powder.
And sugar. I'm going to give it. I'm strict with my marks. I'm going to give it 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
You gave your sandwich 9 out of 10 last time.
I liked it. I think
You're in there.
I liked it. I think if you would have made your own coronation chicken, it would have given you a bit like higher mark.
Yeah.
But because you pre-bought it, I think that's lowering the marks a bit. So I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. Bread were nice, but I think it got downgraded because you didn't make it yourself.
7.5, honestly. Can you believe him? So Miles Platting, which actually borders with Ancoats. So we're on the edge of town now. So in a bit it'll go from it'll start going to very gentrified in a bit as we get towards town. I think we go through the wilderness a bit,
Yeah.
and then it gets gentrified. So we'll let you know when it's gentrified. Right, we're here.
Made it.
Camden. Sorry, Ancoats. Ancoats. We are just off Great Ancoat Street. The canal, the Rochdale Canal carries on into Castlefield. What I'm going to do is I'm going to now show you. I came here a few days ago and I filmed extensively around here all the canals that were low and everything. So I'm going to flick you to a couple of days back when me and Roy came and we filmed the low water in the canals around the basins around here. How much do you think this round was? Two halves of lager, how much do you think?
Should be like £6.
Yeah, 6.20.
Not too bad. £3, so it's £6 a pint.
Yeah, so it's unacceptable, but
Yeah.
we've learned to accept it.
We've had to have halves now.
Anyway, let's crack on and look at these water levels.
Cheers.
Okay, so we're here around the Great Ancoats Street area. We're going to look at two canals. First off, Area A, the Ashton Canal on the Store Street Aqueduct. And at this point, it's just branched off from the Rochdale, or it's just going to meet the Rochdale down there at Dale Street, the Dale Street Basin. See, we're just on the Ashton Canal now. You can see that basin there is quite low, but it gets worse as we go along the viaduct here. So I'll show you along the Ashton Canal Viaduct, one of the oldest structures in Manchester. So here we go, this is the Store Street Aqueduct. That is Store Street down below. Aqueduct initially built to span Shooters Brook. Well, let's take a look at these water levels. Look at that. Look how low that is. There's about a foot of water in there. You ain't sailing through there, and it's going to get worse. So I'm going to show you the Rochdale in a bit. It's going to get worse. The newer sort of houses in the distance there is called Piccadilly Village. It's like a residential area, so we're going to take a walk up there. This is a prime example of how the people of Piccadilly Village won't be able to unload coal at the moment. Obviously if you look in there, look beyond there, there's no way they're going to be able to unload the yarn and cloth for dyeing and coal and things like that. What a shame. I really feel for them. And as we walk along the canal, you can see just how low it is. 1 foot, 2 foot maybe. There's a lot of trash in the bottom of the canal, and no, I'm not proud of it. But we're going to head up here and then we're going to turn left and back round to the Rochdale, which is even worse in parts. I presume the fish sort of instinctively swim to deeper water, because we didn't see many dead fish at all. In fact, I think we saw one during this whole venture. Got proper depth and everything now. I'll just turn the camera around there. You see there, that's Great Ancoats Street there where the cars are going across. We've got water again now, but we're going to go into New Islington Marina to see what the levels are like down there. Okay, as we walk along the Ashton Canal, you see we've got a mixture of old and new buildings here, and there was lots of little offshoots and spurs off the canal that went to buildings and warehouses and wharfs. This is one of them. This just comes to like a bit of a dead end. And that offshoot there we've just looked at was possibly those Meadow Street wharfs that you're looking at there. Can't be sure, but look, they're in the right place. And we're currently at Area B, and we're going to loop back round now towards the marina and back over towards the Rochdale Canal. That's the Lockkeeper's Cottages. Lovely little, love to know who lives here, but it's a lovely, marvellous location. Okay, so this is New Islington Marina, and the Canada geese I don't think are very happy, because they even they've ran aground. All the boats, if we pan round, seem to be in one area. They've had real problems here. So all the boats, if we look over here, are just beyond this wooden fence here. I didn't film it, unfortunately. I don't know why I didn't film it close up. But all the boats are up there where there's more water. And I think, to be honest with you, they're trapped. But let me show you this if you think this is bad. Right, I've had to add this in as an additional area on our map. Where the arrow is, that stretch there running down towards Dale Street, that is the Rochdale Canal. We're right inside Manchester city centre now, going towards Dale Street. Take a look at this. If you look here, what I find interesting is, that's for a gate. So you don't know if you can see there, you see the wood there going across. So that's where they've been able to put in, a gate, a temporary gate, stop gate, and then it would join with the wood there. That's wood, and it would be able to form a little temporary dam. So that's something you don't often see. Basically goes to nothing. And here we are down at canal level. Just no water at all. And never ever in my life have I ever been on the canal bed here. And look at it, ridiculous, isn't it? There's just, it's no longer a functioning canal at all. Shit. Now you've got to watch the mud here. Obviously there's been some sort of branch here which no longer exists. I'm going to make an educated guess that that branch there went to those coal wharfs there where the yellow arrow is. So we'll go down here. So where there was water, there's now weeds growing. This reminds me of those photographs you see from the 1970s when the canals were just in disrepair and neglected and they were being filled in and running out of water. Absolutely awful. And there you go, there's the lock gates. I'm not going to go there because it'll be really muddy there. So a little bit further down now and we've got water, but it's very, very, very shallow. That boat has been grounded, so that ain't going anywhere soon. It's a shame really. Look at it, it's a very, very, very nice boat that. And I wouldn't want to have to stay here because it's not, whilst there's nice people that walk down there, there's unsavouries that walk down here, and that is really sad. That is really sad because if you look at that, he's not going anywhere. He's got his engine running, I think, for the generator or something, but that is such a shame because he's absolutely grounded there. It's quite sad that, you know, because that's someone's pride and joy and someone's you know, somebody's invested a lot of money in that boat. It's clearly a really nice boat and it's completely grounded. Alright, so I'm down at lock 89, the lock, if you know what I mean. If you know, you know. There seems to be water in here. Seems to be in pockets along the Rochdale Canal. But even here it's very, very low, and I'll give you an example of how low it is. I'm going to show you the overflow that should take this water down past the lock, which is behind the camera. Normally it's going mad and overflowing. Take a look at this. And of course we get towards the trapdoor, and it's even lower here now. So you see the canal's quite low now here. So we may be able to see the trapdoor, but I'm not overconfident because normally it's covered with silt. So there's the arrow that you know about. There's the arrow. There you go. And it's just out there, but so I did try and peer in with all my might to try and spot the trapdoor, but it's somewhere near that paddle and it is covered over by debris and silt, so we ain't seen nothing today. So we're getting towards the end of the Rochdale Canal. This is an area called Deansgate Locks, where the Rochdale Canal is sandwiched between loads of buildings, and there's a lot of trash in here because there's bars all around and people just lob bottles and cans in, but let's not get lost in that. You can see here again, no water, absolutely no water whatsoever. So anyone wanting to leave Castlefield and go up the Rochdale Canal is effectively trapped until, I mean, I hazard a guess at when this is going to fill back up. It's going to take a few months to fill back up. You're looking at around October, I think, and even then we'd have to have large amounts of rainfall to get this full again. And finally, the last lock on the Rochdale Canal, lock 92. This was drained a good few years ago, 2018, 2019, and we came into this one, and if you remember that arch there, I was asking the people from the Canal and River Trust, what is that arch? and they couldn't answer me. I've since come up with some various theories, but I'll tell you one day what I think they are. But anyway, this is the Castlefield area. Duke's 92, always very busy on a sunny day, the bar. So there you go, the end of the Rochdale Canal, and it seems that the water levels seem intermittently full and empty and full and empty. Depends where you are on the Rochdale Canal. But that goes through to Castlefield Basin now and the Bridgewater Canal, which is a whole other story. So there you go, we shall nip back up to the bar in Ancoats now, and me and James. Right, so there you go, low levels of water in the canals around Manchester. We thought we'd capture it while it was actually happening. And it was about the journey as well, wasn't it?
You've covered most of it.
Covered most of what?
The mills, you know, like the things.
As we're coming down, we've seen things. It's like, yeah, I filmed that mill. They went, what's that mill over there? I went, that's Brunswick Mill. We went in there and filmed that. Now being done up into apartments. Yeah. For lots of other local people. Not. Anyway, so there you go. Hope you enjoyed that video. I don't doubt in October, November, the water levels will rise again and be back to normal. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.
In a bit.
Bye for now.